Hello students. Students, today we are doing poem number 8 on killing a tree written by Give Patel. In this poem, the poet has explained the process of destruction of nature. And also he says if we continue this process, then we human beings will have to face many problems. And also the poem is written sarcastically. According to the poem, man is destroying the nature and adopts all the possible ways to kill the trees. And he says that, but it is not possible to kill the trees as Mother Nature is inevitable and cannot be easily destroyed. Also, he says, tree is a symbol of mankind. It means that human life is not so easy to end. As human life is not so easy to end, in the same way, it is not possible to kill the trees. So, also, he emphasizes on the need of afforestation. As he says, deforestation leads to disaster. So, students, now let's read the poem thoroughly and see the explanation of the poem. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous heights sprouting leaves. So, in this poem, the poet is telling to the human beings that it is not very easy to kill a tree. Even a simple jab of the knife, the cut of the knife, will not be adequate to destroy a full grown tree, as it has grown slowly, consuming the earth. It has absorbed nutrition from the earth slowly and slowly, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprosite sprouting leaves. The trees rise out of the earth, rise out of the earth, and feed upon its crust. As it has grown through the years, also it has absorbed sunlight, air, and water. The leaves can also be seen to be growing on its branches that grow out of the bark of the trees. Here, leprous hide means bark of the trees. The poet has used the literary device personification here. Personification means when a thing, an idea, or an animal is given human attributes. And here, the poet is personifying the bark of the tree by calling it a leprous hide. So here in this stanza, the poet is saying that it is not possible to kill the tree so easily because it has consumed nutrition from the earth, from the crust of the earth. It has absorbed sunlight, air, and water. And also the leaves are growing out of its branches, growing on the branches which are coming out of the bark of the trees. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. Hack means to cut roughly. The poet says that just hacking and chopping, just cutting roughly the trees, or chopping or giving it so much pain, is not adequate to kill a tree. The tree will not be killed even if you chop it, you hack it, or you give it a pain. Because the bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. After the chopping, the bleeding bark will eventually heal. How it will heal? Because there are the the poet says that from the chopped remains that is close to the earth, the remains of the chopped remains of the chopped trees will be found on the ground. They will be close to the ground, near to the earth, and small curled new twigs will begin to appear again. and they will be miniature boughs, small branches of the trees. They will grow again. And also he warns the human beings that if it is not checked, if they remain unchecked, it will grow into a big tree again, back to its former size. Now, in this stanza, the poet says that even if you chop the trees to cut the trees, even you give them much pain, it will not be adequate to kill the tree, because the bleeding bark will eventually heal. Because when the remains of the chopped trees will be near to the ground, near to the earth, they will again rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, the small branches will again rise, and if they are not controlled, they will again take the form of a big tree. They will grow into a big tree. And here in this stanza, the poet has used the literary device, that is alliteration. See the fourth line, there is the word bleeding bark. Now the closely connected words have the same sound, that is b, bleeding, and bark, b. When there is the same sound, closely connected words have the same sound, there is alliteration. So in this stanza, the poet has used the literary device alliteration. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be robbed, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. Now the poet starts this stanza with the word no. As in the above para, he has warned the human being to check the growth of the tree. So here it is, the poet says that no, don't let it grow. The tree should not be grown. The root is to be pulled out. It has to be uprooted from the earth that is holding it together. The anchoring earth. Anchoring earth means the earth that is holding the tree all together. It has secured the tree. So the root is to be pulled out from the anchoring earth, from the earth which is securing it. It is to be robbed, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. And also he suggests some techniques that should be used to pull the tree out. And he says that tie up the root with the rope and pull it out of the hollow of the earth fully and completely. Also, the poet is using here the literary device repetition, because he has used the word out again and again. Out, pulled out, snapped out. So here the literary device is repetition. Or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed, the source white and wet, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Now he says to pull out the tree from the earth, but it should be pulled out entirely, fully. It should be pulled out of the earth, from the hollow of the earth, from the cave of the earth. And when the root is pulled out of the earth, we are introduced, we come to know to the strongest part of the tree, that is the roots of the tree. The strongest part, that is the roots of the tree, are exposed, and it is from here that the tree originates. It is the strongest part from where the tree originates. It is moist and white because it is protected by the mother earth who has taken care of it. So that's why it is moist and white, as it is protected by the mother earth. The mother earth who is taking care of it, who is securing it. And also it is the most sensitive, the hidden part, that is the root of the tree, that it is the very most sensitive part of the tree. Perhaps that is why it is kept out of the sight of the wicked human beings, as it is inside the earth, so that is out of the sight of the human beings. So that's why it is most sensitive part, because it is secured by the mother earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. And now the tree is uprooted by adopting so many techniques. And then he says, after the tree is uprooted, the next matter to be considered is how to burn it, how to dry it up in the sun and air. Now he says that as we have to kill the tree, so it should be kept in the sunlight, it should be dried up, it should be burnt. And then the stages go through the stages of the burning, drying of the tree starts. And then he says it loses its luster and becomes brown and lifeless. And also, it removes its softness, its tenderness, and it becomes very much hard. The unfortunate thing then crumbles and withers away to nothingness. The destruction is complete. It is twisted, withering, and then it is done. It is done means then it is killed. The finally the tree is killed. Finally the tree dies. So the poet has shown the real picture of the human being, that he is destroying the mother earth and the techniques he is adopting to kill the mother earth, to kill the trees. So in this way the tree dies and the killing of the tree is complete. So students, this is all about the poem and I hope you have understood. Okay students, goodbye and have a nice day.